I stared at my phone, thumb hovering over the screen, heart sinking. Another vacation photo from my parents. Again I was blocked. Why am I even bothering? I muttered, tossing the phone onto my bed. Alex plopped down next to me, smirking. Bothering? Dude, you're sulking like a toddler. What's wrong? I shrugged, trying to laugh it off. Nothing. Just, social media stuff. Social media stuff? Alex raised an eyebrow. You look like someone kicked your dog. I'm fine, I said, but the lump in my throat disagreed. Come on, man. You've been off all day. Talk to me. I hesitated, then whispered, they're posting trip photos again. And I can't see them. They blocked me. Alex froze for a second, then leaned back. Blocked? Like really blocked? Yeah. I curled into myself, feeling the sting sharper than I expected. Every single one. They don't even want me to know where they are. Alex rubbed his chin thoughtfully. That's harsh. Did you, do something? I shook my head. No. I didn't even ask to go. I just feel invisible. Every time they post, it's like I don't exist to them. Alex frowned. That sucks, man. But maybe it's, I don't know, nothing personal? Maybe they just don't realize. Nothing personal? I repeated bitterly. They didn't even tell me. They didn't call. Nothing. My voice cracked. I turned away before he saw me blink rapidly. Alex nudged me gently. Hey, don't cry. You're stronger than this. I'm not crying, I snapped, though the edge in my voice made even me wince. I just don't understand why I matter so little to them. Look, dude, Alex said, leaning forward. You matter. A lot. And honestly, them posting trips without you? That's more about them than you. Maybe it's guilt, maybe it's pride. Who knows? I laughed hollow. Guilt? Pride. Sounds more like they enjoy excluding me. Alex shook his head. You're reading too much into it. But I get it. It hurts. So, do you want to vent, or do you want to plot some revenge? Via vent, I said quietly, curling further into myself. He grinned. All right, spill it. I'm all ears. And hey, worst case, we'll hack the Matrix and see their photos anyway. I chuckled, the first real sound that felt human all day. You always know how to make me feel a little less pathetic. That's my job, Alex said, smirking again. Now tell me everything. Who blocked you first? Mom or dad? I don't know, I admitted, voice tight. I didn't even realize until today. I just stumbled on it. Alex's face softened. Okay. I see. You feel betrayed. I get that. But hey, you're not alone. You have me. And we'll figure this out together. I nodded, biting my lip. Thanks, Alex. I don't know what I'd do without you. He clapped my shoulder. Probably sulk in silence until you explode. But lucky for you, I'm here. Now come on, dinner's almost ready. And don't think you're escaping family talk at the table, because your parents are always happy to remind you you're alive. I laughed softly, more to cover the ache in my chest than anything else. Maybe he was right. Maybe I wasn't invisible. I was pacing my room, phone in hand, heart racing. I couldn't stop thinking about the photos. I needed answers. Alex, I don't know what to do, I muttered over the phone. Relax, dude, Alex said, voice calm. What's happening now? I think I found something, I said, my voice trembling. A story, one of their posts. Private. I wasn't blocked, but it's weird. I can see it. Wait, so you're spying? Alex asked, half laughing. Not spying. I snapped, immediately regretting it. I don't know what else to do. They're hiding things. I need to know why I'm excluded. Okay. Breathe. What does it say? I hesitated, staring at the screen. The caption was short. Some truths are better left forgotten. The photo, it was me but younger, sitting on a bench outside our old house, looking scared. A stranger was in the background, someone I didn't recognize. What the hell? I whispered. Alex, look at this. Look at the photo. He was quiet for a moment. That's weird. You look young. And that guy, do you know him? No. I said, my chest tightening. I've never seen him before. But why would they post this? Why would they hide it from me? You don't know what it means yet. Don't jump to conclusions, Alex warned. It could be nothing, or it could be something big. But you need more info before you freak out. I can't wait, I said bitterly. I've been kept in the dark my whole life. Every time they post pictures or stories, I'm blocked. Now this, I can see it and I feel like I don't know, erased. Alex sighed. Man, I get it. But calm down. We need facts, not just anger. I ran my hands through my hair. I tried. I looked through old emails, old family chats. Nothing concrete. Just gaps. So many gaps. And now this story. Maybe Ella knows something, Alex suggested. Your cousin? She's close to them, right? She might, I admitted. She's always been around, but she never says much. Still, she could have seen something. I'll ask her tomorrow. You sure you want to? That could open a whole can of worms, Alex said cautiously. I have to, I whispered. I can't keep living in the dark. I need to know why I'm treated like I don't exist. There was silence for a moment. Then Alex said softly, I know it hurts. I know it's unfair. But promise me you won't do anything rash. This, finding stuff, looking through posts, it's dangerous emotionally. Don't let anger take over. I can't help it, I admitted. It's eating me alive. Alex chuckled softly. Yeah, I figured. But hey, you've got me. We'll figure this out together. Step by step. No breaking windows. No yelling at your parents, yet. I laughed lightly, grateful. Yeah, thanks man. I don't know what I'd do without you. You'd probably cry on the floor and text me every 5 minutes, he teased. Maybe, I said, letting myself smile. But, Alex, this story, it's like they're holding a part of me hostage. I can feel it in my chest. That's why you need patience, he said firmly. And maybe Ella tomorrow. She might give you the missing piece. But don't let it destroy you before you even know the truth. I nodded, staring at the photo again. Something in it, a detail, a shadow, a gesture, told me there was more than I realized. More than they wanted me to see. I'll find out, I whispered. One way or another, I'll know the truth. Good, Alex said. But remember, anger can blind you. Don't let it control you, okay? I won't, I said, though a flicker of fury stayed in my chest. I'll be smart, patient, but I'll get answers. I swear it. And for the first time that day, I felt a small spark, part fear, part determination, part hope, that maybe I wasn't completely invisible after all. I found my parents in the kitchen, laughing over some old photo album. The moment my eyes met theirs, I felt that familiar sting, excluded, invisible. Mom, Dad, I said cautiously, about your trip photos, why didn't you tell me? My dad barely looked up. Trip photos? Oh, that's nothing really. Just some family fun. Nothing? I repeated, my voice tighter than I wanted. I wasn't even allowed to see them. I'm your son. Mom gave a small shrug like I'd said something ridiculous. You weren't missing much. It was just adults things. Adults things? I asked, my chest tightening. Since when am I not part of this family? Dad chuckled, dismissive. Come on, don't be dramatic. You have school, your life, we have ours. I felt heat rising in my cheeks. This isn't drama. I just want to be included. I'm not asking for much. Mom's eyes softened, but she didn't relent. We know you're busy. Don't take it personally. It's really not a big deal. Not a big deal? I whispered, the words tasting bitter. It feels like you're keeping me out, on purpose. Dad shook his head. I don't know what you want me to say. We didn't block you to hurt you. I don't know what to believe anymore, I admitted, my voice shaking. It's like I don't belong. Silence fell. Their attention drifted back to the photo album. I clenched my fist, swallowed hard, and left the room. Later, I pulled out my journal, flipping to a blank page. Pen in hand, I tried to write what I felt. They treat me like an outsider. I'm invisible in my own home. Do they even realize how much this hurts? I can't trust them. I can't breathe around them without remembering that I'm blocked, excluded, forgotten. Everything I thought about family, it feels like a lie. I paused, staring at the words. My hand trembled as I continued. I hate feeling small. I hate feeling like I don't matter. But I can't stop thinking about it. I need answers. I need something. A knock at the door made me jump. Marcus, Dad's old friend, peeked in. Hey, you're alone? He asked, voice hesitant. Yeah, I muttered. Come in. He sat down slowly, avoiding my gaze. I overheard some of your conversation earlier. Look, I don't want to interfere, but you're not imagining things. There are things your parents haven't told you. I leaned forward, desperate. What things? Marcus hesitated, eyes flicking to the floor. Old family matters, decisions, events, some are complicated. Not all for a kid to know. But sometimes adults think hiding things protects us, even if it doesn't. Protects me? Or keeps me out? I asked bitterly. He sighed. Maybe a bit of both. They don't always handle it well. I can't explain everything. But You're not wrong to feel betrayed. Then why won't they just tell me? I whispered. Why make me guess, left out, angry? Marcus shook his head. They think they're doing what's best. Sometimes adults fail at showing love the right way. I clenched my jaw, fury rising. I can't accept this. I can't just let it go. Marcus gave me a long, searching look. Then don't. Just be careful. Hurt can blind you. Think before you act. After he left, I stared at my journal again. I wrote long and fast, pouring all my anger and confusion onto the page. Every word burned, every sentence a small relief. I can't let this go. I won't. It's eating me alive. I'll find the truth even if it destroys me. I deserve answers. I deserve to be seen. I deserve the respect I've never gotten. I closed the journal, breathing hard. The room was quiet, but inside me a storm raged. Something had to change. I couldn't stay invisible any longer. I was crouched on the floor, surrounded by dusty photo albums and old letters, feeling my hands tremble. Every picture I flipped through seemed wrong. Faces blurry, events misdated, memories that didn't match what I'd been told. Alex, look at this, I muttered over the phone, showing him a photo of me as a kid with Dad smiling behind me. Dad said this was from our first trip to the beach, but the date is wrong. This camera model didn't exist then. Wait, are you serious? Alex asked, eyebrows raised. That's weird. Are you sure? I checked. I sighed, running a hand through my hair. I'm sure. There are too many little things. Every trip, every story, something doesn't add up. Maybe it's just memory, Alex said cautiously. People forget stuff. No, I snapped, a little more sharply than I meant. It's not just memory. Mom said we went to Grandma's in spring, but these letters, they say summer. And Dad told me she wasn't there, but look, there's a letter she wrote to me from that trip. Alex was quiet. Okay, that is suspicious. So what now? I need more information, I said. I can't just guess. I have to dig deeper. The next day I met Nina at school. She always seemed to know more about people's families than anyone else. You look like you've been through a hurricane, she said, sliding into the seat across from me. Feels like it, I muttered. I'm trying to figure out the truth about my family. They've been hiding things, leaving me out of trips, photos, stories, everything. Nina frowned. That sounds rough. But what are you expecting to find? Answers, I said, gripping the edge of the table. Anything. Documents, letters, photos. Something to prove that what they've told me isn't the full story. Nina nodded slowly. I might be able to help. I've heard things, small things, from my cousin. About your family. Stuff that doesn't match the stories your parents tell. I leaned forward. Like what? Well, she hesitated. People talk. About trips, about moves, about events that never make sense when your parents describe them. Sometimes they leave out the difficult parts or twist the story. So, they lie. I whispered. My stomach turned over. All this time, they've been lying? Nina shook her head. Not everything. But enough to confuse you, enough to make you doubt yourself. You're not imagining it. You're not crazy. I can't trust them, I muttered, voice tight. Every clue I find, every album, every email, it's like a puzzle missing pieces. And I can't stop thinking that maybe I've just missed something obvious. That maybe I'm the one at fault. You're not, Nina said firmly. You're noticing patterns. That's smart, not wrong. I exhaled, scribbling notes in my journal. Inconsistencies in trip dates. Letters contradict stories. Selective memories. Hidden photos. Mom's and Dad's accounts don't match. Need more evidence. Alex called later that night. Still digging? He asked. Yeah, I said, rubbing my eyes. And I hate it. Every new thing I find makes me angrier, but I can't stop. I need the truth. Patience, man. Don't let it consume you, Alex warned. I can't help it, I said softly. It's like my whole life is built on lies. And I won't accept that. He sighed. All right, just don't lose yourself in it. You'll find answers. Just keep your head clear. I stared at the scattered photos again. A strange mix of guilt and rage churned inside me. I didn't know if I was discovering the truth, or if I was letting my anger make me see shadows where there were none. But one thing was certain, I couldn't stop. Not now. I would uncover every lie, every omission, every hidden secret. Even if it broke everything I thought I knew about my family. I stood in the living room, fists clenched, staring at my parents. My chest felt heavy, like every secret they'd kept was pressing down on me. Enough, I said, voice shaking. I can't take this anymore. I need the truth. Now. Mom looked away, biting her lip. Dad's hands twitched, but he didn't meet my eyes. The truth about what? Dad asked, his tone flat. The trips. The stories. The lies. I'm sick of being blocked, being left out, being treated like I don't exist. I shouted. Mom's eyes filled with tears. It's not like that. Not like that. I echoed, rage boiling. Every single day I see glimpses of a life I'm not allowed to have. Every album, every photo, every little story, you keep me in the dark. Dad slammed his hand on the table. We never meant to hurt you. Well, you did. I yelled. You've been hiding things from me my entire life. Mom's voice cracked. There are things we didn't know how to tell you. Things you weren't ready for. Things I wasn't ready for? I spat, feeling my stomach knot. I'm 20. How many more years do I have to wait? How many more lies will I have to untangle before I know what's real? Dad leaned back, silent for a long moment, then muttered, It's complicated. We didn't want to burden you. Burden me? I screamed. I've been carrying this pain alone because you couldn't be honest. I've been searching, questioning, doubting myself every single day. Mom gasped, stepping forward. We didn't know how to explain. There are things about your birth, about your early years. I froze. My vision blurred. What? Dad's jaw tightened. Some truths, we thought it was better if you learned them later. I shook my head, voice breaking. Later? Later? That day is now. I wanted honesty. I wanted my family. Tears slipped down Mom's face. We were scared. Scared of how you'd react, scared of losing you. I laughed bitterly. Losing me? You've been losing me every day by keeping secrets. I sank to the couch, trembling. The weight of betrayal pressed into my chest. I can't do this. I can't even look at you right now. There was a knock at the door. Alex stepped in, his eyes wide. Hey man, I heard yelling. Are you okay? I don't want anyone here. I snapped, pushing him gently. Go. Just leave me alone. Alex paused, hurt, then nodded silently and left. I buried my face in my hands, trembling. My journal lay open on the table. I wanted to write, to scream, to make sense of the chaos in my chest. After a long moment, I heard Dad mutter, almost to himself, We didn't mean for it to end like this. End like this. I whispered, voice hollow. You've shattered my world. Every word I've trusted, every memory, it's all a lie. And now, I don't know what to believe. I stayed there, shaking, until the room grew quiet. I felt anger, grief, confusion, and betrayal twist together in a knot I couldn't untangle. Finally, I grabbed my journal, pen ready. I can't stay broken. I can't let this destroy me. They won't tell me everything, but I will reclaim my life. I'll find the pieces they hid. I'll take control. I wrote furiously, each word a promise. Rage turned into resolve. The storm inside me hadn't calmed, but I had a direction now. I stood, breathing heavily, and whispered to myself, I won't be invisible anymore. I'll uncover every truth. I'll decide my life, not them. For the first time in years, I felt a flicker of power. Betrayal had cut deep, but it wouldn't define me. Not anymore. I watched from the hallway as Mom and Dad argued quietly over bills. Their voices were low, but the tension was sharp enough to make my chest tighten. See, I muttered to myself. Cracks everywhere. Alex's voice buzzed through my phone. You're still obsessing, huh? I have to, I said, eyes fixed on the scene. I can't just sit and wait. They need to see consequences, even small ones. Careful, man, Alex warned. Revenge can bite back. You could lose more than you think. I'm not talking about hurting them, I said quickly. Just making them realize. Subtle. Strategic. Not malicious. Alex was silent for a moment. Fine, but think it through. You don't want to destroy yourself in the process. I know, I whispered, pulling out my journal. I scribbled, observe. Test reactions. Small truths. No outright confrontation yet. Let them feel my presence, my awareness. Later, I bumped into Sophia at the cafe near my house. She smiled politely. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I said, keeping it casual. I was just around. She hesitated. I hear things, little things. About families, secrets. Your parents, they're complicated, aren't they? I leaned in slightly. You know something, don't you? Sophia's eyes flicked to the floor. I've heard whispers. Things people don't want you to know. But I can't tell you everything. It's not my place. Just enough, I said, voice low. Just enough to understand what I'm dealing with. She gave me a small nod. They're hiding pieces of themselves, maybe to protect you, maybe to protect themselves. But you're noticing. That matters. I thanked her and left, my mind racing. Every word, every glance, they were all clues. Patterns were forming. I could feel it. Back at home, I started leaving subtle reminders. Little notes in the kitchen, tiny changes in the bills, small comments and conversations. Nothing blatant. Just enough to make them aware I was watching, thinking, noticing. Dad looked up from the table one evening. Hey, did you do something with the invoices? Some numbers don't match. I shrugged innocently. Oh, it must have been a mistake. I just noticed. Mom glanced at me, frowning. You've been unusually attentive lately. Just trying to help, I said softly. Making sure things run smoothly. Alex called later. So, how's the subtle revenge going? I chuckled quietly. It's working. Small things. Cracks showing. But it feels weird. I'm not sure if I'm justified or if I'm crossing a line. Exactly, Alex said. That line will blur fast. Don't lose yourself in their mistakes. I exhaled, thinking back to my journal entries, the lies I'd uncovered, the secrets I'd been denied. I'm not losing myself, I said. I'm reclaiming my dignity. I need a plan, not just blind anger. I'll choose my moves carefully. Observe. Wait. Respond. Control what I can. Alex chuckled softly. Look at you, plotting like a chess master. Just remember, it's not only about them. It's about you surviving this without losing your soul. I know, I whispered, staring out the window. Revenge could feel sweet, but it could poison me too. Redemption might take longer, but maybe it's stronger. Either way, I need a strategy. I can't just react. I picked up my journal again, pen in hand. Small actions. Observation. Subtle hints. Not out of hatred. Out of awareness. Patience. Self-control. My dignity first. I closed it, feeling a flicker of clarity. The storm inside me hadn't disappeared, but it had a direction now. I wasn't just reacting to betrayal, I was learning, planning, shaping my path forward. And for the first time in weeks, I felt a strange calm alongside the rage. I could handle this. I would handle this. I watched from the corner of the cafe as Dad fumbled with his laptop, cursing under his breath. A client call had gone badly, he'd sent the wrong proposal and now he was scrambling to fix it. Finally, some balance, I muttered quietly to myself. Alex's text buzzed. Watching them again? I typed back, yes. And it's satisfying. But weird. I feel like a shadow. Careful, man. Shadows get cold, he replied. I sighed. I know. Later that evening, Mom called me into the kitchen. Can you help me with these invitations? I glanced at the stack. The addresses were wrong, the guest list incomplete. I couldn't resist. Looks like some details slipped through. Want me to double check? She frowned. Really? You're being unusually attentive today. Just trying to help, I said softly, making sure nothing falls apart. As I fixed the mistakes, I felt the familiar mix of satisfaction and guilt. I was seeing them stumble, but I was partly responsible. I knew things they thought I didn't. Alex called again. Feeling guilty yet? Yeah, I admitted. Watching them make mistakes, part of me feels vindicated. But another part feels wrong. Like I'm betraying them in return for a tiny sense of justice. Justice doesn't always feel clean, Alex said. But if you've been denied the truth for years, maybe you deserve this, in some way. I nodded, though he couldn't see me. I know. Still, it's emotionally exhausting. I want them to see consequences, but I don't want to hurt them completely. Just enough to understand. The next day at school, Nina noticed my distracted mood. You look drained, she said. I am, I admitted. It's weird. I watch my parents' mistakes and feel both vindicated and guilty. I'm not sure I can handle this much longer. You're human, she said. Seeing someone stumble isn't fun even if they wronged you. But you're learning about patterns, awareness, that's important. I know, I said. But it feels like I'm walking a fine line between control and obsession. Between justice and something darker. Alex chimed in over the phone later. So, the karma show? Yeah, I said quietly. Dad messed up a big client meeting today. Mom lost a small sponsorship for her charity event because she didn't double-check the paperwork. And I knew the errors were coming. I could have warned them, but I didn't. I let them feel it. You're learning cause and effect, Alex said. But don't lose yourself in it. Guilt is just as dangerous as anger. I know, I whispered. I'm proud of myself, but drained too. I want revenge without being cruel. I want justice, not misery. But I don't know if that's possible. At night, I wrote in my journal, they make mistakes. I see them. I feel vindicated but guilty. Am I justified? I want balance, not destruction. I want acknowledgement. I want respect. I don't want to become what I despise. I paused, staring at the blank page for a long moment. Observation is power, but power comes with responsibility. I need control, not obsession. I need patience, not impulsive satisfaction. I leaned back, exhausted. Karma was unfolding, slowly, naturally, or maybe because I subtly nudged events. Either way, the feeling was complex. Sweetness mixed with guilt, triumph mingled with sorrow. Alex's last text buzzed. Careful with victory. Don't let it poison you. I typed back, I'll try. But it feels like I'm finally moving forward. Slowly, carefully. I closed my journal and stared at the ceiling. The storm inside me hadn't passed, but it had shifted. I wasn't just reacting anymore. I was learning, understanding, observing, and surviving. Karma was unfolding, yes, but so was I. I stood in the living room, trembling slightly, my journal clutched in one hand. Today I wasn't asking. Today I needed answers. Mom, Dad. I need to know everything, I said, voice steady but low. No more hiding. No more half-truths. I can handle it. Mom's lips pressed together. Dad's hands twitched like they were about to push me away but didn't. You really want to know? Dad asked cautiously. Yes, I said, meeting his gaze. Every bit. Mom took a deep breath. It's about your birth, and why we've kept certain things from you. We thought we were protecting you, but we see now it only hurt. I'm listening, I whispered, heart pounding. Dad swallowed. You weren't adopted, not exactly. But there were complications. Medical risks for you and for Mom. Your arrival wasn't straightforward. We had to make choices, decisions, that we never explained because we didn't know how. I don't understand, I said. Mom's eyes filled with tears. We told some stories, left out details so you wouldn't feel different. So you wouldn't feel incomplete. But by hiding the truth, we made you feel invisible. And for that, I'm sorry. I feel like my entire life has been a lie, I admitted, voice breaking. All those trips, the albums, the posts. I thought you didn't want me there. I thought you excluded me on purpose. Dad shook his head slowly. No, son. We never wanted to exclude you. We were scared. We didn't know how to include you without hurting you, or ourselves. I spent years thinking I was invisible, I said, fists clenched. Thinking I didn't matter. Mom stepped closer. You always mattered. You always will. We just failed to show it properly. I exhaled, a strange mix of anger, relief, and grief rising. I needed to see it. To know the truth. I needed to feel acknowledged. You're brave, Dad said softly. Braver than we ever were. You confronted your pain instead of letting it consume you. I shook my head. It's not bravery. It's desperation. I was desperate to understand who I was, why I was left out, why I felt like a stranger in my own family. Mom's voice cracked. We should have told you. We should have trusted you. We should have been honest. I get it now, I said, swallowing hard. Some wounds can't be erased. Some mistakes can't be fixed. But I understand why you did it. I can't condone it entirely, but I see it now. Dad nodded. Thank you for listening, for trying to understand. I took a deep breath. I forgive, in my own way. Not to forget, not to pretend it didn't hurt. But to stop letting it control me. Mom reached out and lightly touched my shoulder. That's all we could hope for. That you'd find strength in truth, not resentment. I smiled faintly. It's strange. I feel lighter and yet heavier at the same time. The truth doesn't erase the pain, but it changes it. I'm stronger now. Stronger than I was when I was blind to everything. Dad's eyes softened. You've grown. More than we realized. I nodded. I'll never forget the past. I'll never stop feeling the sting of exclusion, the heartbreak of hidden truths. But I won't let it define me anymore. I'm moving forward, with clarity. Alex's voice buzzed in my pocket. Did you get it? The truth? Yes, I whispered, a small, steady smile forming. The truth. It hurt. It still does. But I understand. And that's enough, for now. I closed my eyes, letting the weight settle. I felt the past release a fraction of its grip. Pain, understanding, relief, they all mingled. Some scars would never fade, but I could live with them. I could thrive. I'm ready to face life, I said quietly. Not as the invisible son. Not as the betrayed. But as me, finally. I woke up early, sunlight spilling through the blinds. The apartment felt quiet, mine, not anyone else's. For the first time in years, I wasn't chasing shadows or secrets. I was just me. Alex called as I was brewing coffee. Morning, man. You look different. I feel different, I admitted, pouring a cup. Freer, I guess. Lighter too, even though the weight's still there. Strange, huh? Not strange, he said. You've been through the storm. Now it's time to rebuild. I smiled faintly. Exactly. Rebuild, not react. That's the lesson. Later I met Nina at the park. She waved, holding 2 coffees. I figured you'd want to meet here. Fresh air, no ghosts. Good call, I said, taking a sip. I've been thinking a lot about everything. The lies, the secrets, the pain. But I'm done letting it define me. Nina nodded. You've grown. You've always had that spark, but now you've tempered it with understanding. Understanding, yeah, I said. It doesn't erase the betrayal, the heartbreak. But it helps me not be consumed by it. We sat on a bench watching children run and laugh. The world was moving, oblivious, and yet, that's the lesson, right? Life moves on whether we're ready or not. I want to set boundaries with my parents, I said quietly. I love them, but I can't let history repeat itself. I need space, clarity, respect. I need honesty. That's mature, Nina said. It'll be hard at first, but it's necessary. They need to earn your trust now, not assume it's automatic. I know, I said. And I'm ready. But I also want to focus on building my life. On me. Not just reacting to theirs. Alex joined later that evening. So, any plans for world domination or just living like a normal adult? I laughed. Normal adult. Small victories. Paying bills, finishing school, figuring out who I am. Normal but mine. He smiled. That's progress. And hey, revenge plot officially retired. Retired? I said, sipping my coffee. Karma's messy anyway. I'm focusing on what I can control, my life, my choices, my peace. We spent hours talking, planning small steps for the future, laughing over old jokes, sharing fears. For the first time in a long time, I felt whole, even with the scars I carried. A few days later, I texted my parents. Can we talk? I'd like to visit. Set some boundaries, but also, try to reconnect on new terms. Mom replied quickly. Of course. We'd like that. Dad's message followed. I understand. We'll respect your terms. I felt a small weight lift. Not closure, not complete forgiveness, but a start. And that was enough. That evening, I walked along the river, reflecting. My journal was in my bag. I flipped through pages. Anger, pain, betrayal, careful observations, small victories, lessons learned. Every page told a story, my story, and it was mine now. I whispered to myself, I survived. I grew. I reclaimed myself. That's what matters. The river reflected the fading sunset, streaks of gold and orange. Life was unpredictable. I knew that. I could plan, strategize, and reflect, but the world would still throw surprises. And maybe that was the point. Alex called again. Ready for dinner? I got a new place in mind. You'll like it. Sounds perfect, I said. Nina's coming too? Of course. It wouldn't be a reunion without her. I laughed softly. All right. Let's do this. Together but on my terms. That feels good. Later, as I packed my journal away, I felt a subtle shift. Old pain lingered, but it no longer controlled me. I could face the future, uncertain as it was, with strength and clarity. A notification blinked on my phone, a social media post. I glanced at it, expecting another minor annoyance, another reminder of the past. Instead, it was a random photo from a place I had never been. A stranger smiling, unaware of me, unaware of my life. Life moved forward, indifferent. And that was liberating. I smiled, closing the phone. My story wasn't over, but for the first time I felt like the author, not just a character caught in someone else's narrative. I was ready to live, to grow, and to face whatever came next. And that, I decided, was the point.